welcome to the K-Fic Cafe writing podcast series. It is I, your host, JT.
And Jay.
And this week we're going to be talking about creativity and from where it comes from and the processes. First, I'd like to shout out those who joined us for game night on Friday. We played Among Us. It was really fun. Me and some other people were a little disappointed we didn't get Imposter, but that's okay. Hopefully next time we'll be able to play and more people can join. That being said, let's go ahead and jump right in. For this week's quote, we have one from Orson Scott, the author of Ender's Game, which I'm sure you may know as a film from the last decade or so. I don't remember. It's been a while. And he says, "Everybody walks past 1,000 story ideas every day. The good writers are the ones who see 5 or 6 of them. Most people don't see any." We picked this one especially because it plays into creative processes and how do you find ideas. You have to be able to look at something and just glean an idea or a concept from it really fast. Well, not necessarily really fast, but it has to be like, a quality concept. And as we move forward into creative flows and processes, what we're going to mainly talk about today is how do we find inspiration? What are some ways to think a bit outside the box in terms of creativity and other ideas? And how to find your own ideas, your own original, unique ones. As the quote said, inspiration can come from anything and anywhere. It's just a matter of, can you put it with a plot or what can you use with it? My advice in terms of like, what do you do with those ideas is write it down, put it somewhere, put it in your literature, quote unquote, compost heap. If you don't know what a compost heap is, it's basically where you put all your scraps and leftovers from your meals and it kind of just decomposes, and you can use that. You can use the compost that results from it and you put it in your garden and it fertilizes it and it grows. And so similarly, you are going to put your ideas, no matter how random they are, you're going to write them down, put them on a document or notes app or something like that, and have it serve as an idea compost heap. Because from there, eventually at some point, those ideas will fertilize, and from it, you'll have these beautiful story ideas that grow from it. So have a notes app or somewhere to just write down these ideas, and it can be of anything. We'll get to daydreaming in a moment, but that is a big source of inspiration, and we'll touch on that in a bit. In terms of inspiration, it's not just, it kind of comes in from anything and everything, but you can also look to other writers and authors for inspiration. These can be writers on Wattpad. Maybe they'll write something, or there'll be a phrase that they said that really sticks out to you and you'll be like, that's a really good idea. Let me jot it down somewhere and then maybe I can use it. Or you can look to others to see how do they approach a certain concept or a certain problem, So time skips, for example. How do professionals, I'm sure that everybody on Wattpad does, like, in parentheses, time skip X amount of time. But the professionals, if you look at them, how do they handle time skips? They can't say it. They can't put it in parentheses and say, oh, there's a time skip of this much time. No, you can't do that because it's not very, professional. But so you can look to them to see how do they handle time skips? What is their process? How do they blend time and make it seem non-linear or something like that? But looking to others for inspiration, not necessarily for ideas, but how to utilize the ideas or format the ideas is another form of inspiration. A way, if you're not really good at just looking at something and just picking an idea right off of it, here's a little exercise that you can try during your own time. Pick a story that you are very familiar with. This can be like a folk tale you grew up on, or a story that you've loved ever since you were young. But for the sake of, I guess, universalism or whatever, I'm sure everybody's familiar with the story of, let's go with Snow White. Everybody should know the story of Snow White, right? The princess, it's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Disney made a movie on it. There's tons of different variations of it. Um, let's see. If Snow White, Jay, just give me like what are the characteristics that you immediately think of when you think of Snow White? Like in the stories, how do they describe her?
Snow White, she's a very caring character, very responsible.
I mean,
Oh,
like,
she's I was gonna say she's naive too when it comes to her stepmom. I think is it the stepmom that kills her?
mm, I guess in terms of trusting people.
Yeah.
So that is certainly one way to go about it. You look at that, and but the problem with that is that it already sets a perspective. You already see her as a naive individual, but she has a very big and open heart.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I was kind of hoping for was more physical. So
Oh, my bad.
hair as black as ebony black hair, um, lips the color of blood, and skin as pale as snow. Those are like the big three, right?
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
should know that. Like, so if you think about it, just think it can be a very, very small thing, but all you need to do is just list them out and then just think about it. What kind of person has black hair so black it's ebony? What kind of person has lips so red that they're like blood? You know, what kind of person is so pale it looks like snow? Like that itself is very, very white. So if you think about it that way, all right, let's put that on back burner. Let's think of the prince.
Mm.
I'm sure many people have pointed this out in terms of like princess stories, but like there's a prince and comes in on his white horse, his magnificent steed, and he sees this princess, and she's lying in a coffin, right? The glass coffin from the Disney version. And he goes over and says, you know, I'm going to kiss that, and I'm going to bring it back to my castle. Okay? So from these two components, I guess a way you can play around with this is you have a princess, black, really, really black hair, really, really red lips, very pale skin, um, lies down in a coffin for a long period of time. And then you have this kind of necrophile prince that brings her home. And if you think about it, Snow White might as well just be a vampire princess.
Looking back on it now, like when you was just describing, I was like, bro, this give me Twilight vibes already.
Yeah, it's basically Snow White. If you think about it, if you take the components and then you look at it from a completely different angle, a completely different perspective, Snow White is no longer a princess story about her stepmother trying to cast her out of the kingdom because she will bring her down, the stepmother's downfall. It's more like there's a vampire princess plus a necrophile prince, and the stepmother, in a way, could be the good guy, the hero, because she sends this vampire, this monstrosity stepdaughter, out of the kingdom to protect it. So now you just kind of reverse the whole situation. It's no longer the Snow White is the good innocent character, but it's actually the complete opposite. She's complete evil, and has all the characteristics to back it up. And the stepmother's actually protecting the kingdom. So just like that, you just took a story that everybody knows, everybody's familiar with, and you just identify certain components or key points that don't really make sense. And then you just, you can write a story, and now you have a completely somewhat original story, if not that it sounded like Twilight, but yeah. And so another thing, if you don't want to, this is my preferred method because I've been doing this for so many years before I even started writing, is daydreaming. Daydreaming is the easiest way to come up with an idea. An exercise you can do in terms of daydreaming is, let's say you are in a bus or train, airplane, whatever. You're in a vehicle with strangers in it, or you're in an area with strangers. And then just think, well, if I look at this person, what would he do in a scenario like this? What does he look like he would do? Or you may overhear conversation. Okay, what might they be doing? You're basically going to create stories for everybody that you see. Whether they're true or not, they're still stories. Um, and so it's just, you just make stories about people who are around you, and eventually maybe you might get something that just sticks. Or maybe you'll hear a conversation, or you'll have a conversation, and you'll think, that's a very interesting way of putting it, or that was a very interesting conversation. And then you can put that in your ideas compost heap.
I once heard from my sociology teacher that the best stories come from eavesdropping. Now I'm not saying to go around the corner looking at everybody's conversation, but you know, he has a good point.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I think can help further an idea or expand an idea is you can take a concept, and it doesn't matter how ridiculous it sounds, because sometimes it does really get you to think about it. Let's go with let's do zombies, because I've been kind of wanting to do an apocalypse kind of story for a while. So zombies. What do we know about zombies?
They are the living undead.
Mm-hmm.
They like eating brains, and according to anime, they're fast. No. Like, High School of the Dead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what that's coming to mind. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It seems like every time I ask you something, I'm looking for a specific answer, but you're
I'm
like
sorry!
dancing around it or something.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. What I was kind of going for was what makes zombies in particular unique, which is if they bite you, what happens?
You become a zombie.
Exactly. So if you think about it, let's see, a zombie. If they bite you, you become a zombie. That's where all zombie like stories come from. And if they bite you, what happens? You turn into a zombie. Now let's try to apply that to another thing. So zombies are the living undead. If they bite a dog, will the dog become a living undead? Will its skin start to flake off, and will it want to eat human brains? Or will it try to go after dog brains? See, now you have several ideas right there. Zombies. If it bites a tree, will the tree start to wither? Will it be conscious and trying to consume other plants? I don't know.
That's terrifying.
No, but think about it. These are just simply ideas. I just took zombies and I just took its fundamental concept. It bites you, you turn into a zombie. What happens next? Ooh, I have a good one.
Oh.
What if you bite a zombie? Do you get turned into a zombie, or could the zombie turn into a human?
Oh.
Just an idea. Now, you guys, whoever's listening to this now you can play with this. Maybe you just solved the solution to zombie apocalypse just because someone was like, I'm gonna bite it back. It's just a matter of asking what ifs. And what ifs are super powerful in terms of coming up with random, crazy ideas. In fact, that's where most of my stories come from. And most of them are very, very, very fictional. They're in a different time period, or they're just, I don't think they would ever happen. So Art of the Con was a bit of a step away from reality, which is you have all these idols that are criminals. That's just an idea. This next one goes back a long time. I'm not going to spill any tea. Let me look at my idea, my compost heap. Oh, man. I'm trying to find something that I don't mind sharing and somebody can take it. I don't want to share any of them because they're all pretty good and I want to keep them for myself.
Wow.
But the thing is, with what ifs, you have to, it's supposed to bring out, you're asking yourself a question and you're forcing yourself to answer it. What if this happened? Okay? What if all these idols were actually criminals? What if, most of these questions from all the fanfic authors that I'm seeing is, what if I was a super spy? And then figure out how that correlates with a K-pop group. Or what if I was a basketball prodigy? You know, shout out to Vorentis and Coach to Lover Story. Praying that it finishes soon so I can binge the whole thing. But it's just a simple what if question. And from that what if, you can get a bunch more ideas. I know there's one, what if? A lot of the stories that I see in terms of like K-pop fan fiction is, what if I somehow got roped into the world of K-pop in one form or another? So a producer, a manager, bodyguard, in one form or another, you're like, you're being roped into it. And actually that's where most stories are. But it's just that idea of what if. And that's where all stories begin. What if I grew up with a K-pop member? They were my childhood friend. That's where a lot of stories try to go for. What if we live in a world where Greek mythology was actually real? And you have gods hiding among the humans.
Well, I got a what if.
Oh, go for it.
Like, there was a story I did a little while ago, but like, what if like a supernatural being was like incorporate supernatural with the K-pop world. So like, what if a vampire was the manager of a well-known K-pop group or something? How would that unfold? Like, how would the worlds merge together?
Ooh, there was, when the night is over, I read some of his material and gave some feedback on it. Courtesy of the K-Fic Cafe, please send us stuff to proofread. He wrote Tunnel Vision. It was his first one shot, and basically it was, what if I ran into a Twice member on a metro one day? And then it leads to, like, it's more therapeutic, I guess, kind of fluff, but not really like any romantic, it doesn't get that romantic. It's just a simple what if this happened? And I think that's where one shots and imagines that you see all the time on Wattpad is, that's what they're kind of built off. What if this happened? What if my sibling was actually a K-pop member? What if, I don't know, what if Rubik's Cubes and their quintillion different combinations paralleled with alternate universes? And it was a writing prompt I saw once, like, the Rubik's Cube, because there's like so many different ones, like, what if it like opened doors to different dimensions or something, or sent the person who used it into different dimensions? And I've been trying to find a way to use that idea, but not really, because it's hard to, like, it's an interesting idea, something to play with. How can I incorporate Rubik's Cubes into a story idea? What if, or cubes, actually. What can I use a cube for? Maybe it can be a bomb. Maybe it can be, what if the Rubik's Cube is actually a communications network relay from outer space? And I don't know, an alien planted the idea in the subconscious of the guy who made it. It's just what if. And what ifs are so powerful.
You go many places with a what if.
Mm-hmm.
But my personal one would be Starlight Up My Days. They wrote a G-Friend X male reader story, and it's more like a what if a street gangster became the manager of a K-pop group. And I don't want to spoil it, but just know that there's a lot of things that they tie into that background.
Yeah, to be honest, it doesn't seem very likely. But then again, likelihood. 1 in a million's chance. Who knows? Who knows? Perhaps if I randomly punch in a random phone number on my phone, it might, by some miracle, correlate to some K-pop idol. what if? Okay, what if?
You know, that'd be kind of dope. Don't get me wrong. That would be really dope.
hmm There's an idea that I probably won't touch on. This one was, mm, you know how there was somebody got Chaeyoung's phone number, Chaeyoung from Twice. It was like Josh, and he leaked it on Twitter or something, right?
I remember. I was there.
Oh, and I was thinking, what if, again, what if I had gotten the phone number? What could I have done with it? That was not like a complete jerk move. And after just, I don't know, I daydreamed about it a lot, and then I came up with the idea, what if, this is more like fluff than anything, and might actually apply to Mina a lot more. And it kind of builds off of When the Night is Young, and When the Night is Over, his one shot of tunnel vision. What if the main character, reader insert or whatever, created a kind of like help network? He just dials in a phone number or something, or it could be like number neighbors. Like, do you know what those are?
No.
Number neighbors is like basically you type in your phone number, but you change your last digit and you move it up or one a digit. It's like, hello, you're my phone number neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes you can get into into a friendship, or it just like complete flops. But I was thinking,
like, how do you know my number? Get off my line.
well, I mean, number neighbors. It kind of makes a bit of sense. I mean, they can see
Mhm.
your number too, so they can check whether you're lying or not. But
That is
the
true.
idea was the main character dials in a completely random number that correlates to one of their numbers and says, "Hi, I am. I have dialed in a random number, and I'm just looking for someone who I can, I don't know, vent to or like discuss my problems with, because I don't know anyone at home who I can freely discuss that with." And I picked Mina especially because she had that anxiety thing, and she can have something to contribute. This side contributes, I don't know, maybe depression or lack of self-esteem, and then Mina can talk about her anxiety, and it's completely anonymous, and they have no idea who is who. And then I don't know, maybe many chapters later, they'll be like, "So where are you?" And then it like eventually goes away from just their problems, and they try to get to know each other more without revealing who they are. So this might be from the perspective of, again, jumping back to our last podcast on point of view, maybe this can be a story about from the perspective of Mina. And she's encountering this for the first time, and she's kind of, I don't know, random ideas, and I don't know, it's an idea. Someone can take it and run with it. This one I don't mind giving up because I have given up on it as well.
Wow.
But yeah, daydreaming, what ifs, extremely powerful for ideas.
My almost choked. My creative wells, they primarily come from music videos. Don't have to mainly be K-pop. Maybe it could be a old R&B singer, Alicia Keys. And what I usually do is, and I personally like songs from other languages because for some reason to me they tell a deeper message, and this message can change from person to person, which is why we have YouTubers that had a little conspiracy theories and stuff, all that good stuff. And when I interpret these lyrics, I'm thinking, okay, how can this become a story? And so you start thinking about who is the audience that these lyrics are going to, who's telling these lyrics, and now you got to fill in the spots as in like, okay, how can I web this together in a way that it becomes a fully developed story? And it doesn't have to be a novel. A lot of times with a song, it's about 3-4 minutes long. So give it a take, it'd be like a short story. But it could be a pretty lengthy short story just to get your point across, really. So that's why for me, I like to lean on song lyrics. But I will also do TV shows. Like for instance, when I watch Dream High and Dream High 2, I was thinking like, okay, so what if there was a school that helps you build on your talent and makes you like kind of carves you into a K-pop idol or an idol in general. And I feel like shows like that, or any shows for that matter, can be used to your advantage to develop your own, fully develop your own organic story to tell your audience. And those are my creative whales.
Hmm. And I think it's kind of interesting, because music is such a powerful, in a way, it is a story. Most music have a story to it. And another thing is that you don't have a lot of time to convey the story. So word choice is incredibly important. Music is incredibly important. There's also, if I want you to cry, I won't tell you how to feel. I will just tell you what I'll just like. I killed a unicorn. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you how bad or how sad you should feel because the unicorn died. I'm just going to tell you, I'm just going to kill the unicorn and I'll make you cry. I'll make you break down. I don't know, you know, but that's a terrible example, but you want the readers in a way to be able to pick up on it themselves. Don't tell them what to do. Let them let them infer. They should know what to do in that particular scenario. They should feel it, and that's what music does in a much shorter period of time. My processes, I try to take advantage of everything that I see. So whether it be the internet, things that happen in real life, the art of the con story was inspired again by a book I read senior year in high school that was like a mix of supernatural fantasy and heist and like mystery heist, and I loved it. I loved the main character, and he kind of became the foundation for the reader insert. And I just kind of pulled in anything else that I could that pertained to criminal stuff. So there's the two TV shows. I don't remember which podcast I mentioned it in, but go listen to it and find it if you can. But I try to draw inspiration. Like I'll try to draw a bit from this resource because they've done it before. They've done their research. So what they're doing should be credible, especially because they're more public. And they're more out in the public eye rather than like a Wattpad story. So I can't tell whether that is actually factual or whatever. But it's also feelings. The way people make you feel can go to help, can create story ideas, or adds another what if question. What if this person was more like this? Because I feel like this fits my perception of this individual. So said it once. I'm gonna say it again. I remember starting out. Jenny kind of scared me because she had that really she had that stare, and it scares me sometimes. And I felt like making her a hitman or a hitwoman, a mercenary, would be pretty terrifying. And I think it also fits her as well. And especially when Kill This Love came out, and I saw the trailer, she had that Lara Croft kind of styled attire, and I thought, that was it. There we go. Movies. I remember I was rewatching the Pirates of the Caribbean series once, and I had a phase where I could not wait to finish this current story so I could write a 1700s pirate-themed story. I had the characters all picked out. I just didn't know what the plot would be. But take advantage of everything that you come across. It can be a movie. Movies are really good inspirations, but you have to find a way to turn the movie idea into something more original. That's a hard one. TV shows are similar. Just whatever interests you or perks your interest in whatever way or form, be sure to put it in your ideas, notes, document, compost heap, whatever, because it will help you later on in one way or another. I mean, I'm just looking around myself. What can I turn into a story idea? Thousands of ideas are around us, but what can I make into a story idea?
I got a good idea. Okay.
All right, go for it.
So, I'm a college student, right?
Okay.
and I like to play guitar, right?
Okay.
Okay. And I want to get better at playing guitar, but I'm too busy balancing out my job life and my free time, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, am I going the right direction with this?
I'm thinking about it. Keep going.
All right. The place that I work um requires a lot of energy, a lot of movement. So even when I have free time, I can't spend it doing something that I actually enjoy, which is playing guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now say that my dream is become like a pretty well known guitarist, even if it's just through YouTube or just doing song covers on iCloud. Not iCloud. Oh God, SoundCloud. What direction would you go with that as a story?
So it's kind of like a rise to fame kind of thing.
Mm.
Mm, I personally wouldn't know because I wouldn't write this kind of story. I like going more, this definitely will not happen kind of thing.
All right. Let me get a retry. Let me get a retry. Okay.
No, it's
Okay.
fine, it's fine, it's fine.
Oh, no. I got you, bro. I got you.
It actually reminds me of this movie. I forgot what it was, but it was a world where the Beatles did not exist,
Wow.
and um, there's only one guy who remembers them.
Mm.
And so one day he's just like, he plays the guitar, right? And he's like, oh, let's do a cover of a Beatles song. And he plays it. And he's like, wow, that's beautiful. And he's like, guys, it's the Beatles. What do you mean? And they're like, what, the Beatles? What is that? Apparently they've never existed. They've never gotten together and become a world famous thing. So he takes his knowledge of all the songs and then he produces them himself and they become a hit. And then he becomes the Beatles in a way. And it becomes
Wow.
famous off of it. I don't remember what it was called, but I do know that Ed Sheeran was in it at some point. I don't know. Yeah. Ideas, what ifs, daydreams. Play around
You
with
know,
it, guys.
that's actually a really good idea that somebody could run with. Like, imagine what if we were in a world where this group didn't exist? Like, the main character wakes up, they're going through their phone, but they don't see the artist.
Oh, so that was something I was actually thinking of with the Rubik's Cube ideas in parallel
Mm-hmm.
universes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was like he or she finds a Rubik's Cube and like, what is this? And he twists it up a bit and, can't solve it, gives up, and like, whatever, toss it to the side. And when they wake up the next morning, everything kind of seems the same, but there's a pretty big thing that is different. And it can be anything. It could be K-pop industry is actually not in Korea, but it's like America, and America's like in Korea. I don't know. It's something like that. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Or they could wake up one day and they're actually a soloist, or they're missing a team member, or they wake up one day and they're not a guy, but they are a girl now. I don't know. I mean, it's so many infinite possibilities with that one Rubik's Cube thing, but
You just
look,
reminded me of Freaky
ideas.
Friday.
Sorry?
You just reminded me of Freaky Friday when she woke up in her mom's body.
I don't know what that is.
No, JT.
I did not have a normal childhood. I am sorry. I grew up on like PBS.
Fair enough.
All right, good vibes.
Good vibes. Oh, so I'm now a double major now.
Ooh, and what?
Communications and business administration. And
Interesting.
next May, I will be graduating with both degrees.
Nice.
Making big moves. What about you, bro?
I would say that we played on game night. We played 3 hours worth of Among Us, but I still need to get a lot of homework done. So that's not really a good vibe anymore. Good vibe. Goodness. Is there nothing? I I did a music analysis of the Butterfly Lovers Violin Concerto. I'm going to be doing a podcast on that for school. Maybe I'll tease that at a future date. I don't know. We're also trying to find ideas to continue talking about. We're considering interviews. I don't know. I look forward to talking to some other authors. That'd be really fun.
Yes, come join our club. Oh, that sounds creepy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
In any case, yeah, come join our Discord if you want to come hang out and talk. We talk a lot about a lot of stuff. We play a lot of games together. We discuss covers. We discuss story ideas. We share stories. We talk about life troubles. Come join us. We'd love to talk to you. If anything, you can sign up to our newsletter through our website. You can explore our website. You can find this video on YouTube and on Anchor and the place that it distributes to. You can also donate to us through Anchor and Venmo. It should be in the description below or somewhere. Everything, all the links is accessible through our link tree, which you can find on our Instagram. And our Instagram you can find through we have it linked on our website. So no matter what you do, you will find a way to all of our stuff in one way or another. So again, keep daydreaming. Ask yourself, what if? What if you listen to another one of our podcasts? What if you go back to one of our older podcasts and think about it and deconstruct it and, think about it from a new perspective? What if you actually donated to us? No shame. But yeah, we do need, if you can donate to us or listen to our podcast through Anchor, listening to ads through there actually gets us a little bit of money. And we have ideas for contests and competitions that we might try for later in the future if we can rack up enough money to create prizes and all that. But, yeah.
Well, made it this far into the podcast. Thank you for joining us. We are your hosts, Jay and
JT.
And we hope you enjoyed our podcast. Remember what JT said earlier. Keep daydreaming. Keep asking yourself what if. Keep sprouting those good story ideas because you got that big old beautiful brain. Once again, I still sound creepy. But make sure you like, comment your good vibes down below or whatever you're
comment your creative processes and your creative ways down below.
That too. Share with your friend. I share my podcast up with my mom. So share with anybody. And we hope to see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.